Hello, hello! It's another crafting with Foggy. That's right. We're working on this puppet build here. Some kind of puppet. I don't know what kind of puppet it's going to be. Foggy, I think you know it's going to be a clone of Foggy. Yeah, like a stunt double for Foggy. For the dangerous things, right? Yeah, that's right. So, let's see where we are on our Foggy. So we have the teeth. We have the teeth here, which I have whip stitched here to the mouth plate. And next we need to make the tongue. So we're going to be sewing up the tongue, but here's the tongue that needs to be sewn with the machine, and then I will hand stitch it too. So we did all this, putting these teeth together in yesterday's video. So this is part 3, and we don't know how many parts are going to be to this puppet build. Maybe 6. Maybe we can do 6 parts. I bet it might be more than that. I don't know. I'm taking a guess. I'm not sure. Yeah, I could see it being more than that. Just depends on how much I do on each step. But anyway, so we're gonna let's play that footage that I recorded last night of the sewing of these teeth, and then I'll record the sewing of this tongue here, and we'll get that done. All right, man. Let's check your tongue, Foggy. Oh, yep. If this looks a little too wide. Oh. All right, doctor, you make it up. Figure it out. Puppet doctor. Yeah, I'm not a doctor. Okay, here we go. So here I'm just doing that whip stitch around the teeth. Yes, I've already sewed it with the machine, cut it out, and so I could probably just turn it inside out at this point, and that would be fine. But I think it's better to also add this whip stitching. It just makes it a little bit more durable, probably. These teeth are going to be stuffed with a little bit of polyfill, and then they'll be sandwiched in between the fur and the side of and the mouth plate, between the fur and the side of the mouth and the mouth plate. So here I'm just it just takes a long time to stitch each little stitch going around this, and I'm pretty tight with these little stitches on something like this, on this fleece, tighter than I am when I'm working on the fur, probably. Even I will occasionally put in a few back stitches or lock stitches and make sure it's tight. It's kind of, you get into a rhythm, and you learn how to manipulate the thread so it goes the right way through there every time, and just how to hold your hands. My hands will hurt. I have some arthritis, so after doing a procedure like this, so I can't do puppet building all the time. It'd be too hard on my hands. Stuffing, I'm using the chopstick here to put a little polyfill in. Of course, I recorded just me working on one of the sides, and I didn't record the other because it's the same process. So here I've got the camera right in front of me, and my hands are on either side of it. And I'm just stitching this in real loose here. And I think I had to pop some of this undone and redo it, which I didn't show on camera. But because I needed a little more polyfill in there, I decided after I'd done it. So there is mistakes. There is mistakes. Mistakes are made. So next is the sewing of the tongue.
I do all the fleece parts of the puppet this way, where I sew them first on the machine, cut them out very close to the sewn line, and then whip stitch around that sewn line basically. I am stitching this with white thread, but it won't show after I'm done doing what I'm going to do to it. So here I'm ready to cut it out now. And it's a little too long, so it'll be cut down some and installed. Here we are doing some more whip stitching. I got some pink thread this time. So we'll whip stitch around this tongue, and then we'll cut it along the back, and we'll turn it inside out. Then we'll cut a slit in the mouth plate and install it in there, sewing it from the back side. And I think I'll use some black thread for that. So just sewing along. You can see Liza and Linus there. Liza's bed is the tan one. There she is, getting in her bed. And Linus is in the blue bed. They almost always sleep in their own beds. Although occasionally he will lay in hers, she will come and step on him and he will get up and move. That's usually how it goes. But occasionally we'll find him in the opposite beds, but not usually. They're 16 years old, so they have some trouble getting around. I think Liza has had a stroke or two, and she needs some help getting up and down the stairs. There's Linus getting up. Just sewing away, coming down the back side of this tongue here. Another view of it. Anyway, here we go. Putting those stitches right where I want them. Sometimes I reverse directions if it's easier to hold it one way or the other. I seem to be sewing here from right to towards the left, but sometimes I sew the other way. It just depends on which side I'm starting on. Sometimes I'm back sewing too, so there I'm cutting it. And now I'm going to use that chopstick, that valuable chopstick tool, to turn it inside out. Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Okay, we've got the tongue. We're ready to figure out exactly where it goes. So I've been doing some measuring here and figuring out exactly where I want that tongue. Got a little line right there. I'm going to try it this way. I'm going to try clipping this right here. A very little bit. I don't know if it's going to work. Okay. Now this So now we're going to stitch it in here. And I have two options. I can leave it open on the inside, which is only good if you want to do this la 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 gag with it, with a little something inside it, make it vibrate. But I don't know. It's not really something I use a lot. So I think I'll just sew it all the way through all those layers in the back. Try to pinch it in there. Okay, here I'm doing that whip stitch and get the camera in, get the object in view here. It's not always easy to keep things in focus while you're filming, but I'm learning every video I make. I think I'm trying to improve my filming technique some, and hopefully I am, but it's not always perfect, that's for sure. This is just seems like I did make a mistake in here somewhere, and I had to cut it out and start again. Cut that down a little bit, which I might not have shown on camera. Cut that tongue a little shorter. Made sure I measured against Foggy's, and I don't think I showed that part on camera. But getting it installed here, it won't come out. Yeah, looks good, looks good. All right, well, I think it's about enough for tonight. We've got our, now of course I'll continue to put some together for tomorrow, but the next step is going to be the big one of getting this mouth plate sewn in. So this was tedious work, making the mouth plate. It's kind of tedious, but now comes the part of sewing it in. So we sew it in upside down like this, wrong side out. Have to make sure we know where our middle line is so it can line up on here, on our middle lines on here. Anyway, this was kind of tedious work. The next bit of sewing is it's pretty hard sewing because you're going through a lot of layers when you go through these teeth area here. You're going through like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 layers right there. And then of course this one middle layer is a composite layer too, so it's even more. But it's it goes pretty quick, and it's rewarding because you get to see what's going to happen, because we don't quite know if it's going to work yet. We could also put a piece of foam on here, but I think we'll do that later. Hey, yeah, I'm getting my tongue put in, man. Look at that, dig that foggy mouth. Isn't that funny, man? Oh. Does it look right? I don't know yet. We gotta see what it looks like when we put it in my mouth there, over there. Oh, wow.